One of the most frequent questions I get from parents who have been estranged from their kids is why? Why is this happening? And particularly when their child has not been able to explain adequately, or they give a reason that just doesn't make sense to us. And let me give you some examples of those. Um, just this week, I heard from one of my friends that her daughter in law cried all day and considers her to be dangerous because this person had knit this lovely Afghan, and the infant had obviously swallowed some of the fuzz and then pooped it out. And this mother, first time mother, is blaming this on the grandmother and looking at this as a terribly dangerous thing. Or in my example, for myself, I have a son who considers me to be toxic and terrible and not allowing him to be himself because at a family gathering, I had told him that my mother wanted him to not wear a beanie and just to have his hair down. And I was just expressing that and thought I'd communicated, I don't care what you do, but this is what grandma likes. And I thought I was giving him an opportunity to show some compassion for an elderly woman who has a different standard of dress. Uh, and this has resulted in partly in some estrangement in my family. Uh, and so what's really tough is that I think the thing you have to first accept is our children's and our grandchildren's culture is not ours. That things that we were taught to be tolerant about, that we were taught to overlook or to not take personally, seem monumental to our children or grandchildren, and they're always misperceived as threats to their mental well-being. And what I found most helpful is to think of it as it's a culture gap. If we were to go to a different country that expected a different type of dress, we wouldn't question that. We wouldn't say they're wrong or they're bad because they like to cover their shoulders for women if you enter a religious place, or that people dress up more when they go to dinner, or that people would take longer to eat dinner. And so we need to think of it that way, as we've got a cultural gap going on here between ourselves and our children. And when we think of it that way, it takes away some of the personal sting, because a thing that every parent feels, and I know I've certainly felt it personally, is what did I do wrong? And the problem is sometimes maybe you didn't really do anything wrong, it just rubbed your kid the wrong way and they don't know how to handle it. And because they live in a culture where canceling and pushing people away is seen as necessary and acceptable and even advisable, then they pick that option. And I'd like you to look at it, it's a matter of circumstances, as opposed to there's something terrible about my child, or somehow I didn't make the right attachment with my child when they're growing up, or make the right relationship. Because I can tell you for myself, when things are going well with this particular son, he tells me I was a great mom, he had a great upbringing, that, he loves me, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really more about how your child is trying to manage their mental health in an environment that's given them bad advice. And so that's my tip, to try and help you take this less personally and to be able to step back so that you can look at this in a way that's more helpful for your own coping and less damaging to your sense of self-worth as a parent or grandparent.